Okay guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do part number 2, the cross-feed stop. By looking at the drawing, you guys should notice that this is in the metric system. So click on the arrow next to ENUS, double click on the metric folder, and then choose Standard MM IPT. Once you've done that, we can start drawing. We're going to start drawing on the XY plane, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a general shape. So the first shape that I want to do is a rectangle. Make sure that the center point of this line connects to the origin, so that way it is exactly centered. I then want to go ahead and dimension this at 110. The height of this rectangle is going to be 13. I then want to go ahead and add a rectangle like this, as well as a circle like this. I want to use my coincident button to make sure that the center point of the top rectangle lines up with the center point of the bottom rectangle. I now can go ahead and add dimensions. The radius of this arc is 22, which means that the diameter of the circle is 44, and that the height from the bottom to the middle, or to the center of that circle, is going to be 37. I want to add the circle, or the hole, that goes right here in the center. This hole has a radius of 16. Now we can go ahead and finish the sketch and extrude it. I'm going to extrude this by 11 millimeters. I then want to create a new sketch on this face, and I'm just going to project my geometry and copy the geometry like so. I'm then going to extrude this by 44, but since we already extruded it by 11, we have to subtract 11. So this should be a total of 33. I'm now going to create a new sketch on this face, and I'm going to create a rectangular cutout like that. I'm going to click on my project geometry and make sure that this edge of my rectangle lines up with the front face of this rectangle. The distance from front to back is 22, and the height that it extends into the part is 3. Once you have that, go ahead, select the entire rectangle, and we're going to be extruding through the entire part, or cutting it out. I'm now going to use my fillet button to select this and round these corners out by a radius of 22. The last thing I need to do is add 2 holes. Since they're really simple holes, all I need to do is select the face and then select my concentric reference and give the diameter of 11. Make sure that it is a standard regular hole, no countersinks or counter bores, and then click the plus sign to add a second hole that has a concentric reference of this arc and say OK. Before we are done with this part, we need to add fillets. So the first fillet that we're going to add has a radius of 10, and that's going to be on that surface, and say OK. And then the other fillets that we're adding have a radius of 3, and that is on every other surface like this. Once you have that, go ahead and say OK, and save this part. Select your title block, change the document settings to show that this is in the metric system, and let's go ahead and place our views. Our first view will go right here, our second, and our third. Before I let you guys go, remember that you do need to add center lines. And that is it. It is your responsibility to add the remaining dimensions as well as the note that says metric. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.